Good evening, everyone. This is Gary Bennett at XLME. Welcome to Chapter 6 of our Objective-C for Absolute Beginners. Tonight we're going to be covering some of the basic principles that we've learned in the first 4 to 5 chapters of the book, including how to work with classes, how object and inheritance works, and being able to access the methods and properties in all of our classes with an example. So again, for those of you that are watching the YouTube video, you can go to my website, xlme.com, click on free videos, and access the prior recorded classes and also see what's coming up. And if you click on the click here for go to webinar, you can attend live if you like. And I have a few students tonight that are hanging out after the session, and I'll answer some of their emails that they've sent me as well for problems that they're having with the book. Different examples. Okay, so I've created a couple classes here in an application, and what I have is a dog class. And in the dog class, it is its parent is NSObject. Okay, so and typically you want your class to be a subclass of some other class. At a minimum, it should be NSObject. NSObject has a lot of the internal memory management pieces, initialization pieces that we want in all of our classes without having to write it. And we'll learn more about that later. I have some instance variables here, and I have created some set methods and some get methods, because we're going to set these ivars here, these instance variables, with these methods. We're going to set the breed, we're going to set the age, set the owner, and then we want to get that information out. Well, just like we see looking around in our everyday world, inheritance and our classes work very much the same in computer programming. Well, I have another class called a poodle class, and the poodle class comes from its parent is the dog class. So its parent is the dog class, and dog is a subclass of NSObject. So poodle inherits all of the methods and properties from dog, and we're going to add on some others. In this case, the size and the length, and we're going to get the size and the length, set the size and length of for our poodle. So let's go to main, and back to main. Sorry. So here, let me just kind of go over some of the terminology that you should be familiar with in the book, but just to make it obvious here. Okay, what we're doing here is we're going to create an object, dog. Okay, this is called instantiation. We're taking our dog class, we're using NSObjects, alloc and init to allocate the memory and initialize our my_dog object. My_dog object is then going to set the age ivar, the owner ivar, and the breed ivar. And then we're just going to call the gets and get those gets out and print them out. Okay, because that's how we access the ivars, is with our set and our gets. When we get into chapters 6, 7, and 8, we're going to learn how Objective-C will automatically create these getter and setter methods for us without us having to write it. It's pretty slick. All right, so here we also have another object called someone's poodle, and it comes from dog as well. It's parent class, but it's a completely separate object, and we can set its age and its ivars, and it does not affect what we did with my dog. These are separate dogs. And then we're at the bottom here, we're going to create a poodle, and a poodle will inherit all the ivars and methods from our dog class. So let's go ahead and run our application here, and I've set a couple of breakpoints, and just to kind of see what's going on. That's always the best thing to do, is practice, make an example application, and set some breakpoints and look in the debugger and see what's going on. So we're going to do that here. The application successfully built. We're going to hit our first breakpoint with someone's poodle, and then we're going to go ahead and look at those properties. Move that over. Okay, we hit our breakpoint, And if you look at my dog, if we just hover over my dog here, we can see that my dog's parent is dog. And if we expand it, we can see its IVARs and what they're set to or not set to currently. Okay, and this dog's age is 5. All right, but if I go down here and I'll go ahead and just let it run here to the next breakpoint and look at someone's poodle. Someone's poodle, its parent class is dog, and look, its age is 6. Okay, but if I go back up here to our other dog object, and sometimes Xcode gets a little confused, there we go, and its age is 5. So we got 2 objects. They come from the same parent, but they're completely independent. Now, if we look at Sam's poodle, and let me just step through here to initialize these IVARs. If we look at Sam's poodle, well, we got size and length, but look, it's also its IVAR, or its parent is dog, and we have access to these as well, age, breed, and owner, even though if we go back over to the poodle class right here does not have those the age and the other the name and the other IVARs in it, but we have access to it because we inherited from dog for poodle. So before you go into chapter 7, make sure you understand and have these terms down solid. It's the basis for everything we're going to do in iPhone development is understanding objects, understanding classes, understanding inheritance, IVARs, and methods. If you have those concepts down, the next part of the book we're going to be going through the syntax and all the nitty-gritties of Objective-C so that you can write your first iPhone application or Mac application, whatever you want. But we got to learn Objective-C to do that. Well, if you have any questions, feel free here to ask those that are attending live. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. For those of you that are listening on the YouTube video, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube videos. That way you get alerted every time I upload a video. And also feel free to attend my live sessions by going to excelme.com, click on free, and enroll in the webinar. All right, I'll be happy to take any questions here for those that are attending live, and I'll stop the recording for those of you that are watching on YouTube. Thanks, everybody, for attending.